Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Project Nimbus, the complete edition. I'm really excited to play this game with you guys. It's been on my radar for quite a while ever since I saw a little clip of this being played. Shoutouts to LXR, who got this for my birthday earlier this year. It's been on my back burner for a while now, but now it's time to knock this game out of the park. There's a couple of reasons I decided to play this guy for this. I keep calling this game a guy. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Play this game for you guys. First of all, I played a couple of missions already, and I was like, "Oh hells yes!" when I realized how hyped this game was. And then I died to the first boss of the game. Okay, so no promises that I'm gonna do a good job with this, but at least I enjoyed my first outing into this. Actually, I did try to record this, but I had some issues in recording and stuff, so didn't really work out. I'm doing this again because it's just a fun game. I enjoy it. Gonna take some practice though. I'll tell you that much. But the other reason is this seems to be a fairly short game, and after the Goliath of a game that was Yakuza 0, I wouldn't mind a nice brisk game to act as a little interim before coming up with something else. I was gonna play something actually completely different, and I probably still will once we're done with Project Nimbus, because it's also a fairly short game, but I just happened to sit this on my own free time, and I played it for these couple of levels. I was like, okay, never mind, I'm so into this, I do want to record this for you guys. And the other reason is it's just been ages since we had a giant robot game on the channel, isn't it? Like, I think it was Titanfall 2, and I think it's time, because I love me some mecha action. Although, before I jump into this game, just skip a couple of minutes, those who don't want a backstory, but I haven't played very many mecha games. I've played a couple of Mech Warriors back in the day, like anything. And okay, obviously I played tons of Super Robot Wars, but that's a Fire Emblem-y, Final Fantasy Tactics-y, you know, a turn-based tactics game, a tactical RPG. That's the word I'm looking for, tactical RPG. But like in terms of like these mecha action games, I haven't played a whole lot. I've played a little bit of Lost Planet. I've played, a couple of Mech Warriors. I'm sure I probably played something else, but I've never played any Armored Cores. I really hate to admit that, because Armored Core is super cool, and this game is, amongst its millions of other inspirations, inspired heavily by Armored Core. Apparently, not exactly one for one. There's no, as far as I can tell, there's no like customizing the individual parts of your mech. You just get what the loadout is that the game gives you. But despite all that, you know, so that's also why this game like hit me on the radar. Like just this like pure like Armored Core or Zone of the Enders inspired high-speed arcadey mecha action game, and it seems to be resonating very well with fans of the genre. And it's on PC. That's one of my stumbling blocks, that I haven't played many of these games. It's about time I played this, yes? So, we're gonna do the tutorial first of all, just because I do still need a little practice. I've also changed the layout of the buttons to be a little more to my liking, switched places of a couple of buttons on the controller. So just to review what those buttons are, I'll do the tutorial, and you guys will also get to see the gist of this game. So let's get in there. Let's go normal for now. We are missing auto lock-on and health regeneration, both of which are a little tricky for me, the lock-on more so, but I'll try to get good here first before we turn into a casual gamer. I'm definitely not prepared to die, that's for sure. Okie dokie, here we are. Here's our lovely little mech that we're practicing with. I think I'm not actually sure what this model is called in this game's universe. So, a very simple action game, arcadey action game. Controls are rather simple on the controller. I'm using the right stick to look about. Left stick will move forward when you hold up. And we can back up in our mech, back up. And we can go left, we already did that by accident, and we can move to the right, like so. Now then, since this is an aerial combat game, we have to adjust our altitude. Also, one of the pitfalls of this game, there is no PlayStation 4 controller support, so we have the Xbox prompt. So Y button is triangle on the PS4. That will allow us to ascend, and pressing... I've bound it to square on the PS4. The Xbox's X button will allow us to descend. That's one of the things I have the most trouble with, still getting used to, is it's a little tricky to... do this. Like, you can simply look around with your use your right stick, analog stick, to look and change facing with that. So you can ascend and descend just by using the right stick, as you can see what I'm doing right here. However, the altitude adjustment obviously allows for more like high-speed maneuvers, like so. Or you can like keep your camera heading while changing your altitude, like so. So like it is still an integral part of piloting your mech in this game, is using those altitude adjustments. Now, there is in fact a boost. I've bound it to the L3 button. It's a button I'm used to. I've played a little bit, a few hours of Bloodborne, so I think the boost was L3 in that. So we can do that. And so as you can see, we have a boost meter at the bottom. So again, going back to some From Software stuff, if we just tap it, we will make like these like dodge maneuvers, like for example the left, like so. But if we hold it down, we can keep cruising, basically a dash, until our boost meter runs out. Oh, weird, something weird happening with the picture there. I don't know if you guys are seeing at home, there's some weird flicker with the game. I hope that isn't captured on video. Or just look at a boost to the right. There we go. And we can also boost while ascending or boost while descending. So I'll make quick adjustments. Wait, I'm boosting down, okay? We good? No? Hold on. I thought I boosted down already. So, but we can make quick dodges up or down. There we go. As well. And there we go, we got some enemies. So if we face them... once that square object, let me just boost away for a minute. Like, if we're too far away, we can't lock on, but once we get close enough, that square appears, we can lock onto the enemy, an S-20 Shilka in this case. R2 will blast them out, there we go. There's what this tutorial doesn't tell you is there is a weapon wheel we can press with L1 to get, but we can also just cycle down your list of weapons by using the D-pad to press down or up. So we've got two weapons on this Battleframe. We have the autocannon, the machine gun, and we also have a micro-missile. So with micro-missile, you can paint several targets like so. Like, you can just tap to lock on like that and wait for it to load. You can just fire them salvo like so. But if we hold down our lock-on button, we can paint targets like so, and it'll fire a big old like salvo of missiles like so. We can stop painting targets if we don't want to empty our entire missile pack like so. We just fired only 7 of them. That guy just shoot my missiles down. Is that even allowed? I don't know. Let's just paint some guys while we're strafing to avoid some missiles. Oh my god, okay, so we also have, obviously, enemies will have missiles as well. We have flares, and flares work on a, ouch. Flares work on a, timer, so I can shoot some flares out like so, and it's filled up again. Obviously, we can also try to avoid missiles just by boosting away, and we're gonna get some more toys to mess with flares. Mess with missiles in the campaign in a couple of missions time. But the easiest one, obviously, is we can pop some flares once those missiles come our way.
Which one do you want first?
Bad one first. I like stories with a happy ending.
We've got a new pilot from Top Gun, call sign Skull 1.
That's me!
With us, and we'll start his sortie today.
Any good news, General?
It seems that the terrorist group called Children of Fallen Nations has acquired a lot of serious hardware.
Lol, he mixed up the good and bad news.
Mi-19 Strelky, drone S-14, something that means shrimp? These are all
Krevetka.
flying relics.
For them, this is very good stuff. Even better, they chose our backyard to show off their new toys. Right here, Taipei 3 colony, near the border. Just a little bit to the west is UCN territory. Troops stationed there only have old M1s. We also have Delta operators as a ground asset, call sign Bravo 1.
Okay, boss, we know what to do.
Skull 1, welcome to the 7th Fleet. I'm General George Reynolds, call sign AWAC Dragon's Eye.
All right.
Nice to meet you, but the welcoming party is over. Now get your ass to work. Any questions?
What's for dinner tonight?
Oh, what a kidder. Ha ha ha. These guys. What a bunch of jokesters. So this is, before we jump in the mission, or before we jump to these logs, like, this is a great example of, I think, really working with what you got to, like, you know, turn out something, like, really good, because this is made by Game Creator Team, I believe was the name, a Thai company, a Thai developer, which is, I think, is super interesting. Like, all I know about Southeast Asian gaming is like some of those horror games that were made in Indonesia, which I guess are still popular. I don't know. They were popular at one point on the YouTubes, Dread Out and something else as well. But I'm not really familiar otherwise with Southeast Asian gaming, so this is really neat to see a game made in Thailand. And I know that they had a Kickstarter for this game, so they did have a budget. But as an indie game from Thailand, like, I feel like they didn't have a AAA budget exactly. So I like that, first of all, that they made the game very arcadey to compensate for the fact that they don't have AAA polish, and also like that cutscene we just saw there. Like, they obviously, I don't know what the budget is, so maybe they just stylistically decided to do that. They didn't have they didn't have the budget to make like a big Call of Duty cinematic cutscene. So instead, they like make this simple cutscene, but it's like very like in universe as like this briefing, a mission briefing like display, and it's like really like a mood setter. It feels really cool. And also, it seems to riff a whole lot on Ace Combat, speaking of arcadey aerial action games, which also is a series I haven't played very much of, although I look forward to Part 7 at some point on the channel. It's almost a given. Much like this game, I watched a little bit of that and I was like, nope, that's going on the channel. I'm not gonna watch or play that on my free time until I get to play it for the channel. But anyway, so really good on them, like, for like making this stylistic choice of making the game look like this, like kind of a military briefing. It really like covers up for what you'd have like talking heads and camera angles and all sorts of stuff in a bigger, flashier production. Speaking again of, instead of like cutscenes, we have some real Metal Gear-y audio logs to provide exposition. So let's listen to the Coalition of Free Nations. What you got on those?
You're probably all wondering why we've been assigned to the defense of the Taipei 3 colony.
Right, so in Taiwan.
A short history lesson for you.
Here we go.
Ah, geez, Mobius.
After the last World War, the planet's surface can no longer support human life. We won that war, so we have a responsibility to shoulder. And so we formed the Coalition of Free Nations, a transnational political entity that seeks to unite the scattered people of the surface as one.
Under us?
You make it sound as though that's a bad thing. See this map? The CFN already encompasses the Americas. We have our allies in the Pacific, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, the Philippines, and we have the British Islands and Australia fighting alongside us as well.
So that was some great exposition just right off. This is after a world war, and the planet is devastated, apparently. Yeah, and we've got the CFN that we're hanging with. The nominal good guys, although Mobius already, like, as is par for the course in the mecha genre, or like these kinds of gritty war genres as well, make it a little gray there on like, less black and white, a little bit grayer with the personalities. Also, Mobius is totally an Ace Combat reference, by the way. I believe it's 4. I'm gonna say Ace Combat 4, where the pilot you play as is Mobius. And Skull 1, by the way, sounds like Macross, just to me, you know. That was a Skull Squadron in Macross. Tied to giant robots a little bit there. So, the Fallen Nations, who are those guys then?
The Children of Fallen Nations are an armed group formed by the surviving soldiers of the nations that fell in the last Great War. Most remaining nations can't afford to simply lift their cities into the skies like the rest did in the 2050s.
Ah, yes, of course.
They're not too happy about being left behind while the wealthy went on to a better standard of living. Their ultimate goal is to bring the flying cities down.
Standard solution when the apocalypse is upon you. Let's just freaking go live in the sky if the surface is so bad. This was when I first heard this, I had my, are we the bad guys moment? Because, like, okay, the surface is uninhabitable, so I can understand maybe some growing resentment for the people who decide to just run off into sky cities to let the surface suffer. I did just catch now when we listened to this log that they mentioned that the CFN was working to unite the surface people, so with very liberal interpretation, it sounds like they might be working for the benefit of people stuck on the surface as well as the flying city people. But it still sounds really unfortunate that a bunch of people are stuck on this irradiated, or I don't know, whatever the problem is, this blasted wasteland of a surface, while the other part of the human race is hanging out in flying cities. But we're grunts. We're piloting this, I think this is an M3 model robot. We gotta save the colony from these terrorists, so we can't really stop to pontificate the morality of this engagement for the moment. Let's scramble. So, our first action. Here it is, Taipei 3. Oh god, we got bad guys right off the bat. Let's paint some targets. Ooh. This is my biggest problem, is keeping my lock-ons on enemies. I've found that I have a huge hassle with that. What is going on up here? So many bogeys. M19, some other bogeys. Well, we got a couple of... Well, that's loading Strelki, that's right. M19 Strelkis are these, I guess, not so fancy, outdated... I was gonna say mobile suits. Oops. I didn't mean to shoot flares, I meant to reload. They're battle frames in this setting, the mechs. There we go. Ooh, still got a lot of bogeys over there. But we got lots of backup, too. Yeah, I think we're all M3s. I keep pressing the wrong button. Like, I have circle as... I have circle as reload, no, circle as flares and X as reload, and I keep mixing the two up. Uh-oh, we got some SAMs down there. Where did they set up these SAMs? Oh, well, they're sitting targets for a missile, so that's no problem. Oh, that's kind of fun. Ilves is Finnish for a lynx. I wonder if that's what it's referring to? I don't know. See, there I go again, pressing my damn flares, looking for my keys. Oh, well, we got no missiles locking on us for the moment. Is that everybody? Oh, no, we got some drones coming in. Okay, gonna mess with some high-speed drones, eh? Well, let's try painting some of these drones. We'll see how high-speed they are against my missiles. The SAMs were pretty easy to blast down with... Whoop. Oh, yeah, okay. Missiles didn't work super good, but... again I pressed the wrong button. I am an idiot. Well, it's fine. We won, so... No problem. Oh, great. So these are, again, manned ones. These are battle frames, not drones, as far as I know. Strelkis, I think, are, like, really old style. They're the Zakus of this game, basically. Those who know Gundam. By the way, like, if someone at home is not a huge giant robot fan, you don't want to watch this series. This is the most mecha thing we've ever had on this channel, so just word of warning. Wait, what on the radar? Oh my! Those guys look a bit more beefy. Mi-24s?
Listen up.
Hind.
The Squadron is composed of Mi-24s.
Mi-24 Crocodile? What's a Russian gunship doing here?
Wanna die? Stick together.
No, seriously, why is a Russian gunship fighting our mechs? Okay, so these guys are no joke compared to the, these guys are no joke compared to the, what the heck were they? The Strelkis, these crocodiles, they are as tough as our M3s, as AWACS just mentioned a second ago. Look at this flying city here, just flying over the Pacific Ocean. It looks super unsafe to live on, I feel. Okay, purple targets we have to defeat to, basically win the mission, I believe. I think we can still... I'm not sure if we have to beat everybody, but we at least need to take out the purple targets. They're high priority. And if you guys didn't understand what I was talking about earlier, the Mi-24 is the Soviet name and Russian name for the Hind. It's the well, I mean, it's the classification for the Hind is Mi-24, and oh man, this guy really is running circles on me. There we go. Oh, damn! Let's get some altitude on this dude. Where is he? Oh, that bogey's in the air. I'll take care of these guys first. So, yeah, and Crocodile is what the Russians call the Hind. It's their nickname for the Hind D is Crocodile. So this Mi-24 mech is just straight up named after the helicopter, which I think is kind of funny. There we go, splash one. I think we got numerical superiority on these crocodiles, so I'll just paint some targets, make him run around a little bit. Ooh, splashed him, nice. Yeah, it's very arcadey, this action, but I really find it enjoyable. Hunting down these enemies.
Boss, what's for dinner?
Oh, Mobius, laughing it up again. That's such a card, that Mobius.
Welcome to Matrill, Lieutenant Colonel Morgan Akeen.
What?
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Esmeralda Ingrid, the captain of the USS Takao. I will be your mission control. Matrill is a private military contractor. Its major stockholder is a weapon manufacturer, General Cybernetic Technology. We work directly under the Pentagon and the President of the United States Command.
Listen to that horn segment in the background.
Okay, let's get to today's task. Today, General Cybernetic Tech is going to deliver the newest prototype Battleframe, the GCT-X01, to us at Aichi Colony.
That's a very nice looking mech.
However, we are not the only kid in the block. Right now, the Children of Fallen Nation terrorist group is attacking
The
Aichi
COFN again!
We estimated they'll use everything they have to get the prototype Battleframe before we do. I'm confident that we will be able to beat them to the prototype. Once you're there, boot the machine with emergency startup and fight your
so
way
we get
out.
to pilot this new prototype thing. So it should be good stuff. By the way, check this camera shot
The
right
other pilot
here.
now should
I
be
really
waiting for
like
you
it.
in the cockpit.
The other pilot, you mean co-pilot? See, look at that. You can see the pilot there inside. That's really cool because that gives you like a frame of reference as to how big the machine actually is. I really appreciate that. Which means that this Mirai here is quite the big boy, this robot. It's cool. So that may have been a little hard to follow. I was a little confused at first, but I think inspired somewhat by Call of Duty, we have multiple protagonists in this game that we switch playing as. What's even more confusing is that they show the co-pilot, Mirai here, even though they talk about this Morgan guy, who is even going to get a couple of audio dialogues in these audio logs later, and he's the guy we're actually playing as far as I understood. It could have been a little clearer that this is one moment where the narrative kind of suffers from the arcadiness, the lack of clarity. But the point is that we are now... Forget about Skull 1, who we were a moment ago. Now we're going to be playing Mr. Morgan Akin, who's working for this private contractor, Mithril, who is going to help out, bust out this big robot, the Mirai, out of Neo Aichi before COFN get their hands on it. So let's listen about Mithril, since we'll be working with these guys.
The USS Takao is a small Special Forces assault carrier, comparable in size to the USAF's own frigate. It's not designed for head-on engagements. We can carry up to 3 battle frames on board.
Oh.
We also have 2 transport helicopters, which can carry each a squad of elite ground operators.
That's pretty good.
So you see, it's not just you. Everyone here is the best at what they do.
So, speaking again like of the million references, of which I could start rattling several of, but pertinent to that one, the USS Takao. Takao is the name of a World War II Japanese heavy cruiser, and when this game was being developed, the Kantai Collection and Azure Lane were pretty popular, both of which feature anthropomorphized World War II warships. So I can't say for sure, since it's kind of out there compared to standard mecha stuff. So, but I kind of feel like they may have been inspired by those series. Among others, there's a ton of series about anthropomorphized World War II warships. What is up with that? Anyway, like, I think that may have inspired the naming of the USS Takao in this game. On a more obvious mech note, Mithril is the Special Forces group in Full Metal Panic, and I can't help but feel that having a Mithril in this game is some kind of nod to that. Like, you know, it seems too much of a coincidence, since they clearly know their giant robot chops, the guys at Game Creator Studio... No, Game Creator Team, but... What are they? GC... Those guys. Those brilliant people who made this game.